Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Going with the Chappells. We are commuting and communicating this morning. Sorry, I know we promised you we would be more consistent with these videos last time we talked. We've been busy.
Trying.
Yeah, we're trying. So we're back for episode 16 now, I believe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're
Numbers
16 episodes in. Here we go. On our way to work in the morning. Yippee! Today's episode, we are going to talk about traditions.
Did you forget?
No, of course not.
Okay.
I just wanted to, doing the intro, just tying you in, and what they are, what they mean, how difficult they can be, and kind of what we want them to translate into in the future.
Right, because, we're in a totally brand new season of life.
Mm-hmm.
We've moved to a new house, to a new town. The girls have gone off to school. We've had losses in our families.
Significant.
Yeah. So, just if ever there was a time to reconsider and be intentional about our traditions, it is now.
Yep.
It's a great time.
And as you have heard, and if you've been listening to all of our videos, we're not afraid to make some changes in our lives and jump head first into them and struggle and do the things that need to be done. So that's kind of where we are today. There's a couple cool things that we're excited about, but first we wanted to talk a little bit about like what traditions were or are to us. My family, we did a video a couple weeks back or a couple episodes ago about the big house. There's traditions that revolve around that home and my family, and as it relates to Christmas and Thanksgiving and Labor Day. And one of the traditions is every other year you're either there for Christmas or you're there for Thanksgiving, but it's a big family event that is a tradition that's gone on for pretty much my whole life. And it's important, right? The family all gets together, we make a big meal, we all get to visit with each other, we watch football, we just enjoy each other's company and raise up the kids all in the environment, and everybody, it's fun. But it doesn't come without its own trials and tribulations. And, there's a lot of work that goes into it. As you get older and you transition into an adult, you understand that your parents did a lot of things
So true.
to get you there so you can play with your cousins all weekend.
Yeah.
Now, I get to go play with my cousins all weekend, but I also have to do a lot of work to maintain everything else. So,
Right.
So there's that. And, that house is not young. That house has 120 plus years of dust in it, and all kinds of things that unfortunately can cause allergic reactions to people that can be devastating. My wife is one of them. So
it's not a fun tradition to come home with the upper respiratory infection every Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Yep, which is why we don't stay in the big house anymore, really.
Yeah.
We get a nice hotel.
Which has made a huge difference.
Yeah, we get a hotel that we can disappear to and have our own shower and all that.
And no bed with dust mites or mold or whatever. But it is so much fun to have a space that not only has history and legacy to your family, your family built it, but also where everybody can be together.
Yeah.
It is so much fun.
Yeah. And that's the fun part of that tradition, right?
Right. But it is a ton of work.
It is a ton of work. Like, this year is great because I'm not bringing a grill, I'm not bringing my smoker, I'm not bringing all this stuff. I'm doing everything at home and bringing it with me the next morning for that reason, because every year it's just a labor of love to lug all that stuff up there.
That's actually thinking about the evolution of a tradition. So when we first got married, I would work and prep, and we'd have to pack sheets and towels and then all this stuff. Like, it was so much work. Mm-hmm. And then finally I was like, I can't do this anymore. Oh, and then we'd stay exhausted. I'd come home with a respiratory infection, miss work. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so one year I sat out, and I think we both sat out, but you were heartbroken.
Yeah, we stayed home.
I was like, well, this
Christmas
isn't going to work. He's moping around all day on Thanksgiving Day or whatever. So I was like, yeah, that's not going to work. And then
I think it was Christmas, and I think it might have been during COVID.
No, we didn't miss Christmas. Well, that was different. I was actually sick.
Okay.
But there was one before that, like when I got Lyme disease.
Oh, that's right.
And you stayed home, but
that's right.
And then so we start going back, but I was like, I have to stay in a hotel. You're welcome to stay at the house, but I have to stay in a hotel. I just can't do this. And then I started figuring out, okay, if I cook in my own kitchen and pre-make it, and then we bring up your grill and all that, we can heat it outside and we don't have to be in the kitchen, because the whole organizing for the oven and kitchen space and all that is very difficult. And so then you started like just packing your whole garage of smokers and all this stuff. And so for the past couple years, it's been a huge, challenge on you. And so I think this year we were like,
not enough this year. Yeah. I'm okay with taking a step back and relaxing a little bit and enjoying my weekend with my family and just eating and not going overboard.
Yes.
So, totally fine with that.
Exactly.
But one of the things you had mentioned before we got started is, your difficulty that you have with the holidays.
I find what is? Oh, come on over, 18-wheeler. Or just swerve,
We're just going to go ahead and pass this guy. This is all part of the communication.
Yes.
It's all fun,
And so, I think he's coming over again. Is he asleep?
I don't know.
He's asleep.
He's not asleep.
Oh my God, he was. His head was back on the headrest. Oh God, that's terrifying. So I'm freaked out right now.
I know, it's okay.
Oh my God.
He's fine. He's driving just fine behind us.
Is he? Okay.
He's fine.
Okay.
Anyways, you were talking about...
I'm sorry, I'm very distracted now. The holidays are actually very difficult for me. And growing up, like you said, of course, I love the holidays, and now I recognize how much work my mom and my grandma and everybody put into
the experience.
Right? And then, and my parents are divorced, and so
for you, it was even harder.
Well, we had different traditions, and I loved both. Like at my dad's house, we always celebrated Christmas on Christmas Eve, and so that was really fun. And we'd always have fun shopping for each other. Like we'd go to the mall, and each sibling, I'd go off with my sister and we'd go shop for the boys, and then I'd go off with my brother and we'd go shop for my sister, and so we'd split and go to the mall and all go shop together when we got to my dad's house, and that was very fun. We loved doing that. And then we'd actually come back on Christmas Day to my mom's, and then when we got there we would have we'd actually come back Christmas Eve night. So then we would wake up Christmas morning at my mom's, have Christmas morning at the house, and then we'd leave and go to my grandparents' house. And I love that because my cousins would be there. My grandma was a phenomenal cook. And so we'd just eat like roast and mashed potatoes and green beans and just deliciousness. And my mom is one of 7, so we have just a huge family like you do at the big house. Yeah. And so that was what I did always growing up that I loved. And my grandparents lived on some property, so you just run around and explore and climb trees and stuff. And so that's what I loved as a kid. And what was, as an adult looking back, what was clever about that is that you're not hauling all the presents and everyone opening Christmas morning there, and you didn't have to give gifts for everybody or whatever. You just had your own family, and then everyone met Christmas Day at the Joshua.
And it's funny that you bring that up because Christmas at the big house, it was always hilarious to see if you got there first. Obviously, our van, the back of it would be full of gifts. Yeah. So we'd unload all of our stuff. And if we got there before Uncle Ben and Uncle Gar and their families got there, we would then help them get all of their gifts out of their car and put it underneath the tree. And it was like inevitable. Their car was filled bigger than it should have been, and when they go home, it's half the size of what they had.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But that was always a fun process too. It's like, ooh, how many gifts do they have in their car?
Well, and that's one thing y'all's family does at the big house that I actually love, is that y'all do the big gift exchange. Y'all draw names, and you do the big gift exchange on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. And your grandma was so precious. She would, y'all would act out the Christmas story and read it from the Bible and stuff. And then Christmas morning, Santa came.
Yeah.
And so there was, a little bit of presents in the morning. But as far as the family exchanging gifts, that was Christmas Eve night. And your big meal was Christmas Eve and all that stuff.
Well, and the tradition was there for that because we would have so much family that would come and just visit for Christmas Eve and have dinner with us and then leave.
So that they could be with their smaller families on Christmas Day. Yeah. So
as kids, we love that tradition too because we got all of our presents on Christmas Eve. Yay!
So that's kind of something that I would like to maybe continue in our family. So
I guess that's a good transition of like traditions for...
Well, hold on. I wanted to add a little more. So for me, as an adult, when my kids were little, I enjoyed the holidays. But ever since I got divorced, that the holidays have been really difficult because now my parents are divorced, so we're already dividing up to figure out how to see both sides of the family. Then I'm divorced, so I only get the kids half the holidays, right? Because I'm sharing them with their dad. And then I'm married, so we have your in-laws. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 families
that we try to
coordinate
do
and
something
see.
with,
and that doesn't even include extended like aunts, uncles, and that kind of. I mean, for your family it does because your family is very good about gathering.
But like for instance, Aunt Joyce, like we went and spent Christmas with her like 3 years ago. We have to kind of like do all that. So the holidays are really, really complicated, I guess, ever since I got divorced, which was, 12 years ago or whatever. Also, and that includes travel. That means we're never at home for a holiday. Mm-hmm. We're always going to a parent or in-law's house. Mm-hmm. So we never really established a tradition. And it got so much to the point that it was like, why are we getting a Christmas tree? We're gone for Thanksgiving. We're gone for Christmas. Like, that gives us 1 weekend in between there to, like, get a tree, and then we have it for 2 weekends, and then the needles fall off when we're getting rid of it. It was very, like, it didn't feel festive in that regard. It felt very forced. And then it's also, ever since I've done hair, the holiday is my busiest season. Yep. So it's, as a family, a very busy season. For everybody, or a lot of people's families, it's very busy. So everybody's kind of frenzied and intense through this season. Yep. And then I'm saying yes more. I'm working longer hours and I'm trying to get people in before the holidays. And everyone's like, I have to, and all of our family insecurities come up because people are like going home. Gotta get my hair colored so I can see that grace.
It's so, Claude, your roots are showing. And so then on top of that, when I got Lyme disease in 2014 and had to figure out I was allergic to everything, I couldn't eat anything. So now I have these food allergies. I can't eat.
When you take gluten out of Thanksgiving?
Right? What? And the way I celebrate holidays is with food.
Yeah, that's how we like. That's our love language to people. We love feeding people.
And I love being fed and all of it. And so now it's like, I can't eat all these chemicals. I can't eat gluten. I can't eat chicken. Gratefully, I can still eat turkey. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's a lot of factors to impact the holiday season. Yep. So I can feel November 1, I start being like, and it just starts feeling like, oh my God. And so all of that complaining to say,
You're super excited about going to Thanksgiving next
Well,
week?
no, I'm going to be intentional about what works for me.
Yes.
And the way I'm going to do that is, what do I value? I love my family. I want to spend time. I have a huge family. I value seeing as much and as many as I can. But I also want to be at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want my kids to be able to come home because they're off at school now. And when we just go get together at someone else's house, they have fun seeing everyone, but they don't get to sleep in their own beds. They don't get that feeling of being home. And so I do want some of it to be at home. So I think potentially I want to kind of claim Christmas Eve. Like, I kind of want that to be our thing. And I love non-traditional on Christmas Eve. I like fajitas on Christmas Eve, and I like lasagna on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's non-traditional for us. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I just don't want to do turkey and ham and all that again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Well, and the neat thing is, like, we talked about being intentional, right? So
Right.
that's what we're doing.
We're
this year.
making it what we want.
We literally are. Your mom and Tom and Ricky are coming down. Hopefully
Christmas
the girls
Eve.
will be there too. And we're just going to have our new traditional Christmas Eve in our home.
Right.
And have company and be there. And experience that and make it what we want it, right? And enjoy it.
I want, you know what I want? I want more peace in my holidays.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Yeah, I want like the calming presence of just like, okay, we're here.
Yes.
I'm not scrambling to smoke a turkey or load a grill or do whatever. Like, we're just going to be a little more cognizant of our needs and our wants and our desires and be okay with that and own it. Like, it's fine.
Right.
Like,
But that is difficult for me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm letting people down. Like, if I don't go see everyone, or I haven't seen this side of the family in a long time, or if I say I can't make it this year,
Well, here's the neat thing.
I feel like I'm letting you down or people down.
Well, here's the neat thing that I think we're both experiencing too with our new home is that we have created a place now that people want to come see and come visit.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, out of the blue, we got a phone call from our cousin Shayla last night, and she's literally like, "When can I come hang out with you guys?"
Yeah.
Things like that we want to continue to foster that and have people there.
And we are an hour closer to our families.
Yeah.
So we're an hour closer to the big house, we're an hour closer to my mom, an hour closer to my dad.
That was part of the intention of buying the house where we did and where we were looking so we could provide.
We're an hour closer to my sister, we're an hour closer to my brothers. Like, it's just...
So there's a balance, obviously, when it comes to traditions. There's things that, your family set and has been set in stone forever, and as long as you can make it a fun experience and part of what you want to do, then it's cool to stay up with that. But it's also very important for you as a family to set your own traditions and to be intentional about what's important and what you want for your family and your immediate environment, because that's something that we want to carry over to our grandkids and potentially our great grandkids. We want them to experience our home and the way that we do things and learn from that and remember that. Like, there are things that I will never forget about my Meemaw and Papa's double wide that I lived in Granbury, and waking up the morning after we get there for Christmas and Meemaw's got a massive Meemaw breakfast, and that was like, that's the tradition.
Yeah.
Those are the things that I would love for my kids and my grandkids to continue. And people are driving like nuts this morning.
They are, right?
Got the head on a swivel. But those are the traditions that I remember, and I want to create those traditions for my kids and my grandkids.
Yes. Yes.
Well, one of the traditions that we have recently started that is really awesome, and I'm very proud of us for doing it, and I'm really excited.
I'm going to give you the credit. Like, we both talked about it, but I never would have got this off the ground and really made it happen. And you have done that. Well done.
Well, I'm going to give you the credit for naming it. Second Sunday Suppers was your name, but... So what we started, this is now our third month. We had our third iteration of this last Sunday.
Was it our biggest turnout?
I think so.
I think it was too.
So it's called Second Sunday Suppers. And what we have done is we have invited all of the younger generation of cousins, their friends, as well as any of our friends who have kids that are going to Texas A&M or any of the surrounding colleges, to come and spend a Sunday afternoon or late evening with us having dinner, a home cooked meal in our home. We can sit around our big table and we can talk about current events. We can talk about things that are going on in their lives. We can just be there and present and provide them with a home cooked meal in an environment that's comfortable and safe and trusting.
Well, and I think we forget, when you're off at school, you don't get to just sit at a dinner table with real cooked meals. You have like cafeteria food. You get to watch a game on a couch.
Yeah.
In a living room, and it's fun to see, like, most at this point we're related to most of the people that show up, but not every one of them is related.
Correct.
You know, and so them getting to know each other.
That's the coolest thing that I saw. We both kind of witnessed is the new friendships that are being made at our dinner table.
Well, like, we'll go clean up the dishes, and they're in there talking and laughing,
and just doing their thing, and that's a neat experience for me to see, and it's just for 3 or 4 hours on a Sunday, and then they go home, and they go back to school and go back to doing their thing. But it's as much of a blessing to us as it is to them. Like, we enjoy that company. We enjoy the work that goes into making that meal and preparing our house for company, and that's a tradition that we want to make that's also generational, right? Because we have these kids that are here right now that are in this 2 to 4 year timeline at College Station that we hope will continue coming every other Sunday or every second Sunday. And
well, we happen to know a lot, not only because we're related, but these kids are the ages of our kids.
Yep.
So we know a lot of their friends that are at school.
Yep. And
I'm constantly remembering, like, oh shoot, I forgot they were there, or someone's mom comes in, I'm like, oh yeah, they're there. So, but our table won't be big enough for everybody that we know. I don't think.
We'll just have to get more tables.
Yeah, I guess.
But the neat thing is that they also have younger siblings that are going to grow up and go to Texas A&M as well.
And we have younger cousins coming up potentially.
So that's the thing that we want to pay it forward. We want this generation to experience it, have this tradition, love it, tell their younger siblings about it, and then when they get to college, they get to then come to Cousin Jay and Sarah's second Sunday suppers, and I want that to keep going. Like, that is a fun tradition for us, that it's just a neat experience that we get to participate in and pay it forward in our lives. Like, we love participating in the younger generation's lives.
Yeah.
I think it's, and I think they enjoy it too, at least from what feedback I've gotten. They love it. So
yeah. So we've done spaghetti dinner.
We did barbecue a couple times.
Barbecue, and then I think there's talk of like
chili.
We're
gonna make a chili bar for the next one, like Fritos and rice and chili and whatever else you want, cornbread, just whatever you want to do with your chili, you can make it. Yep. Yeah, those are gonna be fun. Yeah. But that's traditions, right? Those are things that we want to establish and create for our family and for other families to see and participate in, and that's just neat for us.
Cheese and onions. Okay, I'm playing it. We gotta plan it. Okay, yeah.
But that's it. That's traditions, and we're proud of those, and we are excited. And if you guys enjoyed what you saw today, like and subscribe, and comment on what your traditions are. What do you guys like to do, and how could you see those into fruition moving forward?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us today, guys. We are almost to work, and we will talk to y'all soon.
Yay! Bye, guys.